Hey guys, welcome back. So part number 7 I think it is now of my SU-33 build. It's quite a monotonous long build, but we're finally seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. So this episode we're going to work on finishing the little cockpit tub area, get a canopy mast and on, and get ready for paint and prime next time. So seeing some light at the end of the tunnel as I mentioned, but let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty, so we're back at this and some final push to get this done and ready to paint for next time. So remember there's a big gnarly step, should I say, along here. I think it's like 2 mil, I think you saw in the last video. So I sanded that down and blended it so it all kind of goes nicer now, nicer fit. And what we're going to do really is kind of work on the glare shield up here and some stuff around the cockpit so we get the canopy on mast and get this thing really ready for main paint, which, yeah, it's been a long time, so looking forward to finally kind of get some progress on this guy. So, bringing out the old instructions. It looks very complicated here. So basically you got the glare shield and a HUD going on, which attaches on the front, and then there's an SVP-2433. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's a later upgrade, different screen and stuff. So we're going to go with that one, the SVP-2433, because we went with the more modern instrument panel. So we're basically going to build this up, build the HUD, and then it's all going to go together and go on the front right here. So let me get all the parts off the sprues and get going, and I'll be right back. Okay, so it's in. Really, I'd like to paint this separately, but you have to put a PE on the side afterwards, so I thought there's no point. So it's all glued in. Didn't put any glass in there yet, or the HUD, because obviously going to paint it first. But looking pretty good. Fit, no problem at all. Now, look at the instructions. There's a panel N1 that's supposed to go on there. There is no sprue N in my box. I've gone through it like 5 times. I can't find anything N. I've looked through all the instructions. I can't find anything else with N in front of it. Oh, you know what? There it is. There's a little thing right there. So maybe it's a bit clear. N. So it's that loose thing there. So I need to look around and see if I can find that. I'm guessing maybe it's a little bit of clear, like perspex or something. So maybe that's what it is. Okay. You know, to be honest, I couldn't find the parts list. I was looking all over the structural parts list, and I'll see it on the back. I just noticed it right now. So, all right. So we need to take care of that. I'll look for N. Turning over the page. All the canopy and frame and stuff I'm going to do later, because I'm just going to put the canopy on first, paint it all, and then take it off, and then we can do it at the very end, do the framing and stuff. PA6 and 7 on the side here. That's why I glued it in place so I can line this up, because obviously if you paint it and put P on top, you'd have to paint it again. So that little bit of PE detail just went on like no problem at all. So yeah, that's looking good. So now really what I'm thinking about is we got this panel on already, did this. So really just this bit right here left. So we're going to do the back kind of bulkhead of the cockpit tub, and then like the frame for the seat. These parts to go in here, and then we should be ready to put the canopy on, I think. The front canopy will be glued on, good to go, and the back one will be put on with some PVA glue so we can remove it and put that detail in and do it the opposition later on in the build. Cool. I'm just going for us again. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. So let me go ahead and start working on these few little pieces here, getting these in there, and I'll be right back. Alright, so the little bulkhead back here is put in. Now I put the back on and this kind of shroud over the top, and then this like little ball thing I put in afterwards. It told you to add it to this part first, but that's way too fiddly. So I glued these two, like I said, and then this little ball, but all glue and just kind of stuck in the back there, no problem at all. Now this wouldn't be one of my SU-33 build videos if I didn't go for a rant. So here's my rant of the day for this one. These 3 parts are going back in the cockpit. We already detail painted it back there before we put it in there, according to the instructions. So now I can't glue them in always and then airbrush it, because I'm going to lose all the decals and all the paint and stuff. So I'm going to have to paint them separately. So these Alpha 72, 45 and K99, these 3 parts are going to have to be painted separately and then super glued in place. So that's that done. So again, I've got to do that. I'm going to paint the front end black. So I'll mask it off, paint the front end black, and put the canopy on. Now on the positive side, the canopy is actually a beautiful fit. It fits absolutely perfectly right here. The shape is pretty complex. I might have to get a Canopy mask set for this rather than mask it by hand, but it just fit there. What I did earlier absolutely perfectly, which is great. There is a piece that goes on the front here, I think the where is it? F7, which is plastic, grey plastic, which goes on top of here. So I think you have to mask the canopy, then glue this on very carefully with PVA glue, not extra thin, otherwise you're going to fog the whole canopy. So watch that one, just carefully. Once this is in place and masked, add that F7 piece, and then I5 also you're going to add at the very end once you painted the whole aircraft and stuff. But yeah, and then and my other rant is, again, I'm not going through one sprue in this kit. We're going from jumping around. It's just badly designed on whoever designed the sprue layout on this. We're going from K sprue to E to F, and then back here, look, we're going from F to K to E to L. We're going backwards and forwards through all these different sprues. It's so frustrating having to find these tiny parts and keep grabbing all these sprues. I've still got a box full of sprues, and yet you're on part 26 and yet to finish any sprue on this. Yeah, it's just so that's my rant out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint these. I'm going to paint the back half here the cockpit color. I'm going to paint the front here the matte black, and these three little parts we talked about will get painted the cockpit color too. The sky blue. And then we'll just super glue those three pieces in place. So let me fire up the airbrush. I'll start getting the stuff painted, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so painted the back part here. Some reason, I don't know, the paint we're using the Sukhoi cockpit color MRP. Maybe it reacted with something, but it's a little patchy back there. But you know what? It adds a little bit of weathering, so I'm actually going to leave it as is. Sprayed the front with Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. As you guys followers of the channel know, that's my any black. I always loved Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. So sprayed the top part, it's dried, and I just had a little bit of Mod Podge back here and added a clear part there, as you can see in the light. Maybe it's just still drying. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to mask up the side of the black kind of the glare shield here, and just probably hand paint. This is acrylic paint, just hand paint these like little bits down the side here. You're not going to see those because of the canopy, but just tidy it up. I'll just paint those strips at the side, and then we should be good to go. So canopy, to be honest, I don't want to sink any more money in this build, so I just ended up masking it myself actually in the end. It actually turned out wasn't too bad. So masked up the canopy using the usual Tamiya curve tape, which people hate. I don't know why. I really like this tape. It's great for masking canopies, I think. So the curve tape, and then the usual, various sizes of the Tamiya regular masking tape to kind of fill in the middle. So that's all filled in. So as you paint the sides, I can glue this on, and then this guy F12, I believe it is a bit that goes on kind of here. So we'll talk about that one a little bit later on. But okay, so let me mask this up, paint these two sides, and we get cracking and put the canopy on. Alright, so lights at the end of the tunnel, the canopy's on, and we're pretty much ready for paint. What I'm going to do is, after this video, I'm going to go ahead and just run through the instructions, make sure there's nothing I'm missing off here. I know some lumps and bumps and tenners and stuff. They'll go on later because they'll just break off when we're painting, and there's so much masking going on this too, it's going to be a nightmare, so we'll do that later. So, we talked about the front canopy. This little plastic guy goes on. It wasn't a great fit. As you can see, it goes over my masking tape. Oh, see, so what I did, I just had a little bit extra thin glue at the front just to hold it on, but there's no glue at the back. So what I'm hoping is I can just peel that up and pull it later from behind. If not, I could maybe just remove this completely once it's all painted, and then remove the tape and glue it back on. In hindsight, I'll probably use PVA glue just to tack it on. You can just pull it off once it's painted, and then pull the mask tape off and back on again. I think that would be the way to go. But anyway, so the front canopy's glued on extra thin, just very lightly around the edges, so we're not going to frost the glass. The back one, I masked that one up too, and this is just with some usual crystal clears, just some white PVA glue, just a couple of dots, just hold it in place while we paint. It's still actually a little bit loose, but yeah, it should be fine. And then once we're painted, obviously it's going to be in the up position. So the white glue is great because you can just peel it, remove it, peel it all off, and no marks or anything. So yeah, there we are. We're looking, finally making some light at the end of this tunnel. A lot of work going on this. Certainly a mojo sapper for me for sure, but I think once some primer and paint goes down on this thing, I think I'll start drawing a little bit more and seeing some progress as we go. But yeah, a lot of work indeed. I don't know what's this, part 7 I think. I don't know how parts this is going to go, but next time round when I get a chance to do so, we'll get this thing whole primed up, painted, well, started paint, got 3 colored camo. I do have the attacker paints and also have the mast set we'll talk about next time as well. So exciting stuff. We're looking, finally starting looking like an SU-33. So hopefully enjoy this one. If so, please consider subscribing and all that kind of jazz. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Goodbye.